Wrath Lich King was by far World of Warcraft's most played expansion, but since then, no expansion has been able to live up to it. And finally, Blizzard started listening to the community. In this video, I'm sharing my thoughts on why I believe Dragonflight is, yes, better than Wrath of the Lich King. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. My name is Susie, and here in this channel, we cover all things MMO. So if you enjoy games like World of Warcraft, Final Fantasy 14, we'd love to get you in the community. Subscribe to this channel, but also check this content out live on my Twitch channel. I'll put a link below. We'd love to get you in live, interact with you, but also if you're looking for some people to play with, some people to game with, join the Discord. I want to give people a place to belong, surrounded by some other MMO players like yourself. Friends, topic of the day, going to be a little bit of a controversial one, as you can tell by what I just mentioned and the title of this video. I'm going to be sharing my thoughts, of course, it's just my opinion, on why I believe Dragonflight is, yes, better than Wrath of the Lich King. I'm going to break this video down into 3 sections. First section is actually going to be a parallel to another video that I did. I'll put a link in the live Twitch chat right now, but also a link in the YouTube description below. Basically, I did a video earlier in the year entitled 10 Reasons Why Wrath of the Lich King is WoW's Best Expansion Ever. Now, here's the deal. I'm going to parallel that video because in that video that was released before Dragonflight, I talked about some of the best features in Wrath, and I'm going to parallel those features and talk about why they're actually even better in Dragonflight. Section number 2 is going to be amazing features that have been added in Dragonflight or improved upon. Section 3 is going to be things that have been removed in Dragonflight. Features that I didn't enjoy, maybe you didn't either. But friends, here's the deal. I want to get this right out of the way because some of y'all are already thinking it. I know you are. Let's get the cat out of the bag. The one area that will not be better than Wrath of the Lich King. Let's just get out of the bag. The one reason that will not be better is obviously going to be the lore. Okay, now the lore and the Lich King, let's gonna be honest. Dragonflight is not gonna beat that element, okay? We're not gonna get another bad guy like Lich King in Dragonflight that we waited 6 years after Warcraft 3 to finally kill. Like, we're not gonna see that. We're not gonna get this awesome Icecrown Citadel that is a huge part of the story that we've been waiting and anticipating to kill. Let me get that out of the bag. We are not gonna get that in Dragonflight. That's the one part of Dragonflight that is of Wrath of the Lich King that's not going to be beat out by Dragonflight. But I believe there are many things that, in my opinion, will be beat out. First of all, I think the raids so far have great potential to actually beat out the good old Wrath of the Lich King. Now, here's the deal. We saw great raids in Wrath of the Lich King. Icecrown Citadel, obviously the great moment where we finally get to kill Lich King. Fantastic raid, great mechanics, all that stuff. But if you have not already, the new raid in Dragonflight, this raid right here, Vault of the Incarnate, honestly is already wrapping up to be a great raid. I've started doing it with our guild, which if you want to get in, join our description, join our guild, love to get you in. But the raid is already looking to be amazing. It's got unique mechanics. There's a spider boss we were just doing right there. It's got unique mechanics, 8 bosses, which is not too big, but not too small. Tier sets are back. It's already looking so good. Now, obviously, is it enough time to really be able to tell, are the raids better in Dragonflight than they are in Wrath? Obviously not, because the expansion just came out, but they're looking really promising. But here is some of the things that I mentioned of what made Wrath raids so good. We talked about the 10 and 25 man lockouts. We talked about how there's different sizes depending on different guilds. Here's the beautiful thing that's even better of a system now in Dragonflight: flexible raids. If you haven't played retail WoW in a while, actually the raid size of your group can be anywhere between 10 to 30. And anywhere in that range from LFR all the way to heroic, depending on the amount of people you have, the boss just scales. So if you got people that don't show up for raid, like, it's not the end of the world. Like in Wrath, if you had a 25-man raid and 4 people had real-life emergencies, where you either had to pug or you had to cancel the raid. No longer are those days because it just scales. Wrath also had hard mode raids, which was great because it introduced a harder level difficulty for people looking for a new challenge. Well, back in Wrath, there was 2 difficulties, normal and hard mode. Well, in Dragonflight, we've got 4 difficulties: LFR, normal, heroic, and mythic for those that are looking for that insane challenge. Another thing I mentioned about Wrath that was so good was the 5-man dungeons. But in this expansion already so far, it's already wrapping up to show that the dungeons not only are really good in this expansion, but another thing to note that's really, really important is Blizzard is trying out some new things with their dungeons. They are actually going to be changing the dungeons per season so that you don't do the same dungeons the entire expansion and get sick of them. So it's a good system, but with better features. They're also bringing back older dungeons. Like right now in Dragonflight, we got dungeons not only from Dragonflight, but also from Warlords of Draenor, Mists of Pandaria, and Legion. And best yet, yes, we had amazing dungeons in Wrath, but now we have Mythic Plus. Again, Dragonflight, you're gonna hear me say this a lot, has a lot of the things that Wrath had, except just more built up, better features. Like Wrath would have been amazing if it had Mythic Plus, but it didn't. But Dragonflight does. Another thing I mentioned that was really, really great in Wrath of Lich King was it the introduction of achievements. The game had never had it before. Now, obviously, achievements are still in the game, but what? There's just more of them. We've got more systems. We've got more achievements. We've got all that stuff. Another great thing I mentioned about Wrath was it introduced dual spec. Well, here's the deal. Let me tell you something very, very important about dual spec is the fact that now we don't need dual spec. We don't even need triple spec. Literally now these days, all we gotta do is hit the letter N and you can change all of your specs. No charge, no tomes like it was in Shadowlands, and the talent system, which we'll talk about in detail later, is looking phenomenal. This expansion has so much that Wrath had and even more. And last but not least, in Wrath, what did we get? Well, we got a brand new class. Well, guess what? We've got one in Dragonflight too. For the first time in a very long time, actually the first time ever, we've actually gotten a full-blown race and class combo, the Drakthir Evoker. It is so much fun. It's a dragon class, high fantasy. It could be a ranged DPS and a healer, and it has all these soaring fly mechanics similar to the good old dragon riding. I mean, all of the things that Wrath of Lich King gave us, Dragonflight also has, and even more. There's a direct parallel, but I mean, it is so good in the content that they brought this expansion. Section number 2, let's talk about new features that are added that are exclusive to Dragonflight or features that have just been improved on. One, we've got dragon riding. If you have not tried dragon riding is absolutely mind-blowing. I'll show you real quick. This is actually happening live on Twitch. If you want to check out this content, drop in the description below. Come hang out in the community. Dragon riding, think of it like this, is being able to have an active mount. This is my dragon right here that you can customize. Now, I'll be honest, I'm not really into customization, so I've got pretty much just the stock dragon. But there's multiple different dragons, there's different colors, there's different features, but it gives riding a mount a whole new feel. I've got these active buttons that I can literally actually use to fly up, to increase my speed, to do all these things, to travel around the Dragon Isles much faster than you can actually travel around on your normal mounts. Now, here is the one bummer, is that once you have a ton of fun on your dragon riding mount like this, going back to your normal mount is not as exciting as it was anymore. So I'm hoping that they'll keep this in the future, but we will obviously see where Blizzard takes it. Another thing that's been added and improved upon, like I said earlier, is the talents. Again, not only do you not need dual spec, things like that, you can just have all of your talents, change them anywhere, I believe, except while inside of a Mythic Plus. But it's not just a cookie cutter type talent tree. There really is some room for player agency. There really is room and opportunity for you to change things up, put your own spin on things. You can have multiple different options. You can have a Mythic Plus build, a raid build, an AoE build. You can have a PvP build, and you can literally just copy the loadouts from your friends. They simply just send you a code. You go to import, put it in, and then you've got a brand new talent tree that just loads in within seconds. I mean, it's a phenomenal system. We've also got world quests that were not in Wrath of Lich King, at least not to the extent they are now, in which you literally just go around doing these quests, and it's a great way to get gear, great way to level up alts, and just a great way to chill if you're not looking to do anything high-end content in that moment. Like, these are great features that, you know, world quests are not new to Dragonflight, but they're one of the things that didn't have Wrath of Lich King, and I think that they are a great feature. Are you someone that hates PvP? Are you someone that played on a PvP server, but you didn't enjoy PvP, but you were there because your friends were there? Dragonflight, like WoW's had for a few years now, has their war mode option. All you got to do is just go to Orgrimmar to turn it on, and you can engage a PvP. And if you don't want to engage a PvP, you can just turn it off. So many better quality of life features today than there were back then. We've got Group Loop coming back for raids. All raids below the Mythic rating have group loot back for the people that were upset that that was taken away. Tier sets are back and are amazing. And last but not least, one of the biggest new features to come to this expansion is indeed the good old crafting system. Now, I'll be honest, I haven't dove in too deep into crafting yet, but the crafting has been completely revamped. Now, in Wrath of the Lich King and Classic WoW, you know, crafting was useful. It hasn't really been useful the past few years, but in Wrath, it was useful. But a lot of crafting, one, it was very, very simple, very, very basic. But like most WoW expansions, crafting was really only beneficial kind of at the beginning of the expansion, and throughout the expansion, it kind of lost its value. This expansion, not only have they made it super in-depth, they've given it tons of depth, but it's gonna stay relevant throughout the entire expansion. Some of the best in-slot gear that you and I will wear throughout the expansion is actually from crafting. And here's the deal, you might not be big into crafting, but I really believe that we have to give all types of players value. And by making crafting one of the ways to get some best in slot pieces, it actually gives crafting a purpose. It gives people a desire to want to do crafting, make money through crafting, and engage in an element of the game that has kind of been avoided for so many years. Like I said, Dragonflight has features that Wrath had, except they've been either added or completely improved in ways that we haven't seen in years. And I'm excited to see where crafting is going to go in the future. Section number 3, features that have been removed. This might be one of my favorites, because honestly, for me, this was my biggest turnoff for years. The concept of borrowed power. Now, if you're not familiar with borrowed power, essentially you can check it out from expansions like Legion with the artifact weapon, Battle for Azeroth with your Heart of Azeroth necklace, and of course the Shadowlands with things like Covenant and Renown. All these daily responsibilities, this upkeep, where you're taking a video game that used to be fun and now we have to fulfill all these responsibilities in order to keep progressing as a character or you fall behind. I hated it. Now, that's a personal preference, but I absolutely hated borrowed power. And if you did too, borrowed power is removed in Dragonflight. It's gone. There are still renown systems where you can gain reputation with certain areas in Dragon Isles, but it's not mandatory. Almost 100% of the rewards you get are all aesthetic. There are some rewards that you can get, but they're not rewards that are gonna be better than what you're gonna get from Mythic Plus anyway. And so this is huge, because I know that this was a big turnoff for a lot of people. And if you're one of the people that did not enjoy borrowed power, I want to encourage you, this is the expansion to return, because with the removal of borrowed power, that means leveling up alts is going to be super easy. Your dragon riding actually is account wide, so you don't have to level that up again. Leveling alts is super easy, world quests, all this stuff. So many great reasons for you to try out Dragonflight. So here's the deal. Let me know in the comments below. Do you agree? Do you think Dragonflight is or can be better than Wrath of the Lich King? But also let me know, are you going to end up playing the expansion? Because I think it's absolutely incredible. I've been having a blast, and finally for years, I'm ready to sink my teeth back into the game, because I tried in the years past, but borrowed power always took me back. Friends, if you enjoy content like this, hit that subscribe button, get plugged into the community. Also drop in the description below, check out the live stream, and get plugged into the Discord. Here's the deal. I don't want you to just consume content. I want you to be a part of the community. If you're longing for some friendship, longing for some people to play MMOs with, join the Discord. We'd love to give you a place to belong. I appreciate you watching this video. Give it a thumbs up, helps the algorithm. We'll catch you in the next one.